is just going to go ham.
Yeah.
Full on roaming.
And when you look at the early game, both teams actually did well in the early game, but it was IWC, they did it off of individual solo kills in lane, and NALCS did it off of roaming around and just ganking middle and having this team play where it was just super chaotic.
Yeah, very, very big stylistic mismatch. What I really liked about the Fire lineup yesterday was the combination of Bard and Zac, because it opens up so many gank opportunities and gank pathing that you can't usually get to. Wards usually spot you roaming, but they went over walls with the lead from the Zac. They used the portal too to get to creative gank situations, and ICE just wasn't ready for that.
Well, let's take a look what the last ban will be from the North American LCS. Vayne, Quinn, Rise. IWC have taken off the table. Both LeX and DoubleLift are very heavy Vayne players. And with Lulu away from Kira, that's something that the IWC squad has actually defaulted to many times, including IWCA from Melbourne.
Yeah. Gangplank has received some changes over time, but with the new Essence Reaver, I wonder if that's going to be picked up. Could be a really good build, because back in the day, it was almost efficient to stack 2 eye edges on a Gangplank, so Essence Reaver eye edge might actually be a good build.
Spawn had such a big rant about that at IWCA because the GPs did not build it.
Yep.
They did not go for that Reaver into Triforce or Reaver into eye edge for the CDR build, and I want to see whether or not Kira or Smurf have learned.
Yeah, because with Trinity Force with the 10% CDR on it now, you actually hit 40% CDR on Gangplank without having to use any runes or masteries to do so. So that's an extraordinarily good build for him here. I am interested though to see what he starts with, because we have seen some Gangplanks go for Cull because they're going for that later game, just trying to get to those item spikes. It leaves you very weak in the laning phase though. I want to see if Smurf goes for that.
And of course, for the North American LCS yesterday, they had some fun with that Syndra, with that Singed. Didn't really work out, but a little bit more tryhard. Meteos on that Kindred, it was actually banned away yesterday, and of course Dyrus with the giant rock up top. Malphite's doing incredibly well in this meta.
Yeah, go ahead.
I definitely think everybody's going to start taking these regional matchups more seriously, NA included, because yesterday it looked like they were doing some fan service with favorite champions, but this looks like immediately power picks right out of the gate for them.
And I just like the combination. You go for a very heavy tanked up, especially one-dimensional armor champions, just like the Malphite, like the Rams, like you touched on yesterday, are just fit so well because we don't see that much armor stacking really going on. Lost Whispers being pushed back. We talked about that a little bit on the analyst test yesterday. And because you invest in such a really big tank, you can actually open up more damage in the jungle role with the Kindred. And then stylistically too, Malphite goes in, you protect your backline with the Kindred ulti. So many combinations already with just 2 picks.
Yeah, and I like the fact you're bringing up there. You have the tank in the top lane, and you have your primary hard engage there as well, so that frees up jungle picks so you can have that AD carry. I remember being very concerned when people were like, Kindred's a jungler. It's like, where's your engage going to come from? And Malphite back in the meta definitely helps that out.
So let's see what NA do to round out their team comp. For IWC and the CIS squad, this is a departure from their standard. I was talking to Stress about the CIS team and their style from IWCA, and they tended to focus a lot of the resources around buffing LeX and trying to get him to carry. This time around, it's going to be reliant on the other members of the team to set up picks.
Yeah, if NA plays a similar style as yesterday, that may be troublesome in the early game, because if your cornerstone of your composition is the AD carry, but nobody actually deals with him, they roam and kill everybody else on the map, then it kind of, that support system just falls down, and eventually you'll just kill the AD carry anyway. So I want to see more skirmishes. I like that they picked Thresh Elise, combination with a lot of options in terms of roaming and ganking, and they will need to bring the fire because yeah, NA just roamed so well yesterday, so you need to find a way to shut that down.
I do find it very interesting. You like the picks of these pick champions of Elise and Thresh. I actually think a Gragas here as a counter pick to the Kindred would be absolutely incredible.
Yep.
But they end up going for, we're going to play our style, we're going to focus on picks. They're trying to dictate the pace of the game here on IWC's side as opposed to counter picking. It looks like they're just going to try to play their own game.
Interesting lane though.
Gentlemen,
Nami
I
Twitch.
smell a rat.
Yep.
We've not seen Nami in a very, very long time.
So the reason we haven't seen Nami in absolute ages is because she's absolutely garbage at roaming. I mean, you can walk into a lane, heal your somebody. Like the bubble is probably one of the most slowest paced skill shots in the world. So she's just not very efficient when roaming. And in lane, she kind of got all in. So if you gank Nami, she's guaranteed dead almost. So it'll be interesting to see how DoubleLift and Aphromoo are going to play around with this.
Yeah, Frost Queen's claim does help you land those bubbles, though.
Oh, definitely.
And that's a big reason that we're seeing her a little bit more. We're seeing more Sona. We're seeing brand support. These mage supports are just so strong because that item is so strong.
Yeah. Really hard to play Nami to Kalista, though. But if you predict the hop and you land the bubble, yeah, you can get her in really awkward positions.
I do like the small pivot for that Kalista on AD carry. At least there is some form of engage. A little stronger than a single skill shot. Kira is going to be playing the Anivia. Bird is the word took off in the IWC playoff bracket. But again, slow scaling. It's a bit of a mixed match here for the CIS team.
Problem with Anivia is that she's really good at kiting, but you don't want to kite at Twitch because the range exceeds the kiting potential. You have hard engage against Anivia, which is Malphite into Anivia unless she has her flash ready is actually really good. So I don't think thematically the pick really works out, even with the composition that ICE is running. Maybe just sticking to the team, ICE, get a crossbird.
It does end up having a lot of scaling across this composition minus the Elise and the Kalista.
Yep.
Their solo lanes have a lot of room to grow, but it also has amazing zone control. This entire composition, you can set up zones, you have a lot of knock-up in CC to actually have a team fight. This is a counter-engage composition, though. You most likely will not be going into them unless you get a good hook or a pick.
Yeah, the way to play it is literally just wall off the backline as Malphite goes in. But even then, I think Twitch can usually outrange that. Bjergsen on Fizz can get over that, throw his Orca over at least to buy himself some time. Tidal Wave, again, against slow-moving champions like Anivia, Tidal Wave is really solid from Nami. So, yeah, options on both team sides. Just need to see how they play the early game.
Feels like room to outplay if you're a Fire or North American supporter.
Very little wave clear though on the side of Fire. If they do get behind, Fizz doesn't play very well from behind. Kindred has a tiny bit, Twitch with ulti, but if you're getting siege upon by the Anivia, Anivia Q, Thresh, Hook, Elise Cocoon, zoning ultimate, zoning barrels, definitely siege advantage in terms of ice.
Yeah, this seems like NA, Fire. They want to play basically how they played yesterday. Roam around the map, just have these skirmishes, free up Bjergsen on Fizz, and just go everywhere. But ICE is doing exactly the opposite. They drafted for late game. They lost in the late game yesterday. Now they're trying to shore up that weakness and see that they have some power there.
Well, yesterday we did see the IWC squad pick up some solo kills. And take a look at the team comps on your screen. Who do you think is going to pick up those 100 points? Hashtag ICE win or hashtag Fire win. Kobe and Deficio, I hope you're listening. That is how you deliver a hashtag line.
I mean, it's easy if it's on the screen.
You
can read,
so.
Trevor. Congratulations.
I can read, but Deficio unfortunately cannot. We will have to teach him to read English, not Danish. But that is a task for another day. We're loading up onto the Rift. It is ICE taking on Fire, CIS taking on NA.
Oh man, the Kindred mark coming off on Kira immediately, right into the death note there for him. Meteos. I want to see how he plays this Kindred out, because Kindred has so much early pressure. You hit level 2, you can jump around a ton. You hit level 3, you can pretty much gank and skirmish anybody in the game extraordinarily well, including Elise. You have a lot of ways to dodge the cocoon and a lot of ways to outplay her and deal with spiraling simultaneously.
Interesting mid lane matchup here, as we see a bit of a face check. Aphromoo is hiding. He doesn't want to skill bubble early, so he's just going to double stun from. Yep. It's the mark. Great Anivia player. Let's go through. Double proc. But the difference here is that Bjergsen is running a corruption potion. So he wants very well timed harass. And it can work. In this matchup, it's most beneficial for the Anivia to hold the Q. Because if you launch it, Fizz can always counter-engage by getting up on the pole and then slide down, just harass you. So you really want to kind of wait for that to happen and then re-engage with the Q, put him in a stun, wall him off technically, use your minions to your advantage.
I'm going to keep my eyes on Smurf, running that Grasp of the Undying Gangplank up in the top lane. Play for the sustain, keep himself healthy and farming away. Meteos will try to get into that lane to counter gank or deal with Dimajke. And at least there's going to be a lot of options available to him because there's hard CC and tons of damage in every lane.
And the way this early game seems to be playing out is that DoubleLift and Aphromoo being team players, leeching for Meteos, while LeX and Dimonko, they're saying, well, we just want XP for lane, so they're doing the Krugs. They will have an XP advantage. Mind you, it's not as large as it used to be. Because of the way the jungle has changed, that you now get bonus experience from the jungle items, so the base experience on these camps has been lowered.
Yeah, they're still going to pick up a lot of experience, though. They didn't miss a single creep here. If they can catch that EXP, they'll actually get a level advantage if they walk up and just get it here.
Good trading from DoubleLift, though. The hook needs to come out here.
So damage. The Fray comes down. Summoner heals are used. That's a flash away from DoubleLift. First blood secured by Aphromoo. DoubleLift will follow. Support will combat. Ito is going to be so happy. Dimonko is going to flay Aphro away.
Watch out.
For more. The death sentence does not find the fishy business, and the emblem flies up for Fire.
God, just Dimonko he didn't prop the W passive from the Kalista early enough, and then later on he just didn't realize that Aphromoo was standing in 6 creeps. Here's exactly what we were talking about. If you use an offensive Q, Bjergsen will jump over, but gotta go back to that trade. Dimonko, he could have obliterated Aphromoo because he was stuck in minions. When 6 range creeps are helping you, just whack away on the enemy support, just fight it out, duke it out.
Not this time.
And LeX doesn't even use his flash in there as well. This seemed like a trade that you could have gotten away with rather easily. They both dedicated to it, and they got the counter kills, but still.
Well, Meteos lingering, double buffs up. Bjergsen got that ignite, but they need to get to Kira and his egg. Dimajke is relatively nearby. Let's see for the engage. Bjergsen is going to hop and skip over the stun. Flash for flash as Meteos comes in. Kira's been egg. Flash over from Dimajke. He connects with a cocoon, but it will not matter.
Get him too.
A turret shot takes down Meteos. Double kill for Team Fire. And Bjergsen and Meteos walk out alive.
You have to know the damage output of the Kindred early game. It is so high. The Qs, the auto attacks, they're woven in, and you can't really see them all hit at the same time. It is a gigantic burst.
I mean, Bjergsen played that pretty well. He was acting stupid. Like, he kept eating auto attacks over and over and over until Kira was like, I can kill this guy, I can kill Bjergsen, I kill Faker, I can kill Bjergsen too, but no. Again, you know, use Q first. Bjergsen, title tricks and just jumps over. Then Meteos comes in. Pretty simple gank overall. And yeah, if it was 1v1, maybe Kira. But right now we're playing 2v1.
And this is scary for IWC. They picked up some kills in lane yesterday by surprising maybe the LCK squad. North America not falling prey. They've already got themselves 1,000 gold advantage and sitting pretty. But DoubleLift CS is hurting in this bottom lane.
Exactly. They've been able to zone him off of this. And as Twitch, it's actually a very big problem because you need to be able to keep ahead of the curve as Twitch because the whole point of it is to have those mid-game spikes.
Now the problem is actually that way back to level 1. Hang on, we see an exchange here. Again, Bjergsen hasn't E'd yet, so he's waiting with that E every time to cancel out the Anivia Q. The problem in the bot lane is, yes, they traded kills evenly and DoubleLift got first spot, but the wave was pushing towards IWC from that level 1, and the experience advantage was still on the IWC lineup. Bjergsen now in with some zone, has a double buffs available, so he's playing stronger. But in that bot lane, DoubleLift had to concede a lot of CS because the lane was technically frozen there by Dimonko by the time LeX got back, so still a pretty tough bot lane for the NA squad.
Doing a little bit to pull themselves back up. Aphromoo's heals, as well as that wind speakers, will at least help out somewhat. But Meteos is in a good position. Think about a dive. Bjergsen's getting close to Chum the Waters. There's a big level disparity between him and Kira as well, thanks to that kill much earlier on.
And if you have egg, you can actually play a little different against Fizz with Chum the Waters, but if you're sitting on no egg, then your entire playstyle changes because Bjergsen can die on their tower if he tries to take down Anivia plus egg, but Bjergsen can just immediately swoop in and get out alive. So Kira under a lot of pressure, even though Meteos is spotted.
This is actually pretty interesting for Meteos. He went straight for the Caulfield's Warhammer instead of getting more EXP from having the jungle items, and that just says immediately he's looking to kill people in the jungle. He's looking to roam around. He's already marked Elise, so Dimajke's like, oh, he's looking for me. So this is just clearly indicative of what Meteos wants to do. He's telegraphing what he's trying to accomplish here. So you can actually just skirt around that by continuing to farm opposite side of the jungle and not have to deal with him at all.
And that's exactly what Aphromoo said in the pre-game interview, that it was dealing with Meteos and giving him some pointers that was going to help them out today. So some props to Meteos, 101. We've not really talked too much about those top laners. Dyrus in a bit of a farm matchup against this Gangplank. Got himself a small CS lead and teleport advantage as well. We'll see if Dyrus opts to use that or run back to lane. Because that's going to be a win of opportunity with that Unstoppable Force.
You want to hold that so you have the Unstoppable Force TP combo.
Yep, he's playing against a guy that solo killed Martin, but the thing is, Dyrus actually, now that he has retired, is leveling new accounts, so he has dealt with a lot of Smurfs overall. This one is no different.
Oh my god.
Get out.
This is Boo, yes! Feed me that Boo.
Oh my god. You've been around freak too.
Oh, bottom.
There's the TP.
There's the teleport. Chum the Waters finds Dimonko. Dyrus throws the Unstoppable Force down, and Dimonko follows shortly. Now LeX is caught between a Krug, a Meteos, and Lamb. Lamb's respite is not available yet for Meteos. Cocoon finds DoubleLift. And the rest of the North American squad will happily take the tower. And look at all that CS to be denied as well.
Yeah, but look at the opportunity cost. So this is a 5-man bot lane party. This is Forgiven's worst nightmare overall. But they only get one kill. LeX did a beautiful flash there and forced a little damage on Meteos. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Smurf, playing a champion that is incredibly weak in the early game, gets some leeway right here. This tower doesn't really go down very quickly. The opportunity cost of this play may be too high.
It's quite interesting how Bjergsen got there without Kira doing anything about it. Because what happened was he shoved the middle wave up, Kira had to deal with it, and then there's a pink ward in that side right river bush, and then there's a pink ward behind their red. So he went all the way down there not being spotted.
Ooh.
And this is the way you play the matchup. Hang on, Dimonko gets caught.
Let's find out.
Ooh.
Bubble throws him up in the air. There's a little bit of support from Dimajke. The Lantern's available. Tidal Wave will not find a target, and Dimonko needs to flash away, but he stays alive.
You were talking about the Anivia Fizz matchup.
Yeah,
You
he
keep
bit-
getting to this point.
Yeah, every time I start talking about that match, some action happens. You guys be boring, please. Nah, he uses the ultimate, doesn't throw the E. He basically fakes out Bjergsen. That Bjergsen tries to dodge the potential E that's coming in with Playful Trickster. Then you instantly Q when he lands, because you can telegraph that. Bjergsen, once the landing animation starts, he can't change direction unless he flashes. Double damage from the stun into an E, and then Bjergsen lost that rate heavily.
Yeah, it's an interesting matchup pre-6 when she doesn't have the ultimate on Anivia's side, because it's then whoever uses an ability first, whether you use Q or Fizz uses E. But then after 6, you can keep baiting that out and keep faking him out with the E. I think that's actually a great shift in this matchup here, because then the execution goes on to Fizz, and that's where the burden ends up going. Especially since he doesn't have the same type of scaling that Kira does on that Anivia.
Well, luckily for Bjergsen, he's keeping even in CS, got himself a kill, some assists, so, you know, the risk of being falling behind in lane, not really a problem. But Kira, he's invested for this late game, already picked up that tier, starting to stack that.
Yeah, instead of Catalyst, that's a risky approach. If the jungler shows up at any time, you're probably going to die and lose your egg. Many Anivias seem to be starting Catalyst.
Yeah, Rod got buffed as well, just flat 20 AP when you first buy it. So
I mean,
it's,
you still want both, but a lot of people prefer to go Catalyst, tier, finish Rod, and then move on to building it. Just because of the amount of times if you get it early, you level up so often, that proc pays so many dividends overall. But if all you're doing is wave clearing, tier is the more efficient to build, but it's a very greedy approach.
See if Meteos goes for the punish there. It just looks like Meteos is trying to control the jungle at this point. Went over to the other blue. Now he's going to hand this one off to Bjergsen and see if he can get a leg up in that matchup.
But the few times Meteos has shown and has resulted in some kills and some presence, so, you know, good early game impact on this Kindred. But now all of a sudden there's a window of opportunity for the CIS region. Teleport is available for Smurf. He's been sitting on quite a lot of gold, in fact. Just spent it on that Phage and the Greaves. And Smurf is going to TP up. So any possibility is going to be reliant on that cannon barrage. Nothing else. Well, let's see what CIS can do. Still 1,000 gold down. Tempo is slowed down, but all of the ultimates are available for North America. Some playful tricksters to dodge the damage and walks out of the set.
Yeah, so top lane right now is a no gank zone. Mid is playing very far back, especially doesn't want to go aggro because of the counter engage potential with that tier build. So all the action is going to be on bottom. That's why we saw the Elise pink ward and now sneaking in. But DoubleLift and Aphromoo are playing with enough respect. So right now, that's why NA is doing the counterplay. They're roaming 3-man top. Just a normal gank's not enough. But the conversion here leaves the top part of the map completely exposed.
Smurf is going to use the cannon barrage to try and clear out the wave. Chum the Waters will hold him in place. Dyrus flashes to stay alive. Bubble throws up LeX into the air. Dimonko gets pulled in by the Fate's call, and he lobs back forward onto DoubleLift. Rat-a-tat-tat, the rat will go splat. Dimajke finds the cocoon. DoubleLift is being tagged up. A Ren will secure a kill. IWC in a 3v2. They find themselves at least one. Aphromoo goes back in. He gets them back onto the spider. Now LeX will not have enough auto attack to kill Aphro. Aphro gets out alive. Dyrus is running them down. He needs a seismic shard. It's not enough to kill LeX. LeX will use the Pierce to get out, and he manages to stay alive.
If he can keep him around here, though, Bjergsen is running down here. He could be able to dive him, because tier 2 turrets don't give you a shield anymore either.
Let's find out. Bjergsen does not have Chum. He does have Flash, and he may not commit for this one. Does back out, and LeX and Dimonko. Whew, that was close.
It hurts though.
Oh, yeah.
That was a really poorly executed fight. The critical support in me is dying. There were so many misplays. DoubleLift and Aphromoo played it well though overall. They kind of got baited in by the amount of like misplays on the IWC side. Like, these guys, what are they doing? We can take them. Then Elise showed up. Really good aggressive flash from Aphro though. He still survived, because if you don't execute with the Rend, obviously, you can't put any more new stacks until the ability comes off cooldown, and that's what happened there. Aphromoo wasn't getting any red stacks on him. Also duped the Q from the Kalista, so good play by Aphromoo. Room for improvement on LeX and Dimonko's side.
Solid 6.5 out of 10.
Yep.
That fair?
Fair enough.
So take a look at Smurf. He's now earned himself a CS advantage thanks to Dyrus leaving lane. I think it's going to be enough for Smurf to finish off that Triforce. We'll see if he decides to go for the Essence Reaver. Something that we would maybe like to see. Really synergizes with the whole GP kits.
It just sounds so strong. Like, what do you get? You get AD, you get CDR. The more crit you get, the more CDR you get overall. So it sounds like a great item for him, but might still want to go IE second and then buff it all up with the Reaver third. Maybe you need some more defense. I don't really play Gangplank that often. I'm not that guy.
He's tough. He's tough. Every time I play him, it's like, hold up here! Barrels everywhere! And I totally suck at it. But
Wow.
because they got that bot lane turret, it freed up Aphromoo and it frees up DoubleLift to make all of these plays around the map. And because it's a Twitch, this puts a lot of pressure on a lot of members of the team.
Exactly. Yesterday's NA strength was the roaming, and DoubleLift is actually going to do that. He is 0-2 and 3, has the BF and the Zeal right now, getting behind Kira. Kira's all spelled on cooldown. This opens up for DoubleLift.
Tidal Wave will not knock him out, but Expunge will hit a lot. Flash away from Kira.
Correct!
That is your 1v1 champion from IWCA, picking up the kill on DoubleLift.
That's actually such an interesting mechanic because normally you can't flash auto attacks. Once the projectile launches and is locked onto you, it will follow you after flash. But the way Twitch gets changed, we see Smurf duke it out with Meteos here.
Oh, Smurf popped that barrel a little too early. Meteos, Dance of Arrows, he goes forward. There's a 2-level deficit. Lamb's Respite will keep him alive. He's going to get the heal and should Q out. Ooh! Meteos with the swagger.
That's knowing the limitations of Kindred. You can tell that Meteos has cheesed a couple people with this champion.
Gotta wait, gotta be patient.
Well, 3-0-1 and his job. DoubleLift, he's back for round 2.
If at first you don't succeed.
Try again. Opts against it this time round.
They did end up losing their bot lane turret, though. We have to take another look at that, 'cause that was beautiful.
All spells go down, which means it opened up for an opportunity. Afro misses the tidal wave, and here right here. This flash, this projectile usually... Okay, the next one, I lied. Yeah, the observers told me. Because Twitch's ultimate doesn't make it to it's a targeted projectile, it just goes in a line, kind of, because it wants to hit multiple people. That's when you can actually start flashing it. I never even realized in that extent that you could really use it for an outplay potential, because he did need the time to get that RE combination off. He didn't do it early enough. If the projectile trailed, he would have just gotten egged and DoubleLift would have survived and likely killed Kira. So, really smart play.
Yeah, I thought he was going to survive and kill him while he's in the egg, but that flying E there and just that one tick of the R, the chill, just barely being on it long enough for that.
If only it was... Hang on.
Oh, that's a lot of damage.
Back in the day, whenever you typed in chat when you were in egg form, it was Anivia. So, it actually would have been Anivia has slain DoubleLift.
Well, would have been that way. Trinity Force completed there for Smurf. IWC, they've slowed the tempo down somewhat, but they're still hemorrhaging gold, they're still hemorrhaging control, because the NA squad is almost completely unlocked and roaming. Look at some of your first items. DoubleLift, in fact, picking up the Hurricane first, spam out that poison, and multi-contaminates down. Cannon Barrage helping out, or rather hindering, the NA squad, so that will at least stop the Rift Herald for now.
Yeah, DoubleLift is basically building as if he would pick Kalista here.
Yep.
He's pretty much going to try to do the same thing with Contaminate, get the Contaminate stacks on people and then try to pop them. But it doesn't reset and it doesn't do the same type of mechanic. I actually not a huge fan of that buy on Twitch because Twitch just has such a huge mid-game power spike. If you get the Yumas, it's in such a good spot.
Yeah. Still trying to figure out the late game. If he pops the ulti and then he has the AoE bolts, how that exactly works together. Now that Twitch can crit as well. That's the difference with Runans. Now the bolts can't crit, so late game Twitch can actually get pretty disgusting.
It's funny because the bolts can crit, but we cut the damage in half of the bolts. So if they crit, they go back to normal damage values.
Still worth.
Yeah.
It does give them a little bit of wave clear if he walks into the wave, at least, so...
We'll see if NA ever forced to be in that position. Dimonko put a box down. Aphromoo flashes out, so assume a death sentence connected. Kira's now in trouble, will not have his egg available to him. Meteos and Bjergsen find a very easy kill, and this will lead to a lot of damage on that tower.
Really good side lane pressure, forcing people to put too much defense on the side lanes, leaving Kira completely exposed in the mid lane. Dyrus had 3 lane on the bottom, even forced Smurf to teleport, so IWC needs to be a little more proactive. They can't commit to 3 members in the top side of the map if they don't get any value out of it.
There's no way to defend this tower with either Smurf or Kira not in place. And Smurf teleports it down to defend the bottom in a turret. So Dyrus is now going to have teleport advantage, a large gold advantage, map control. It's just a matter of where North America decides to push because they got all the tools to take any objective.
Yeah, more importantly, if Dyrus connects with Hero, that is like the only magic damage on the side of IWC. Yes, Elise does a little bit, but it's not enough to take a tanky Malphite down. That means Malphite can just soak up the double 80 damage from the Gangplank and from LeX Kalista there in the backline. So it is really paramount that Kira manages to flash that ulti. Might even be worth getting distortion boots, but the way Anivia builds right now is there's actually not an early boots upgrade. Very easy Malphite ultis, if not for flash.
Well, Dyrus with flash available is going to make it even easier. And you know, I got to call him out because he was looking for suggestions on Twitter on which champion to play. I submitted Kha'Zix. He disregarded that.
Rightfully so.
And went, you know,
To you anyways.
North America trying to help out Team Fire, looking to pick up another 100 points. They trail 150 to Team Ice. So, quite a lot on the line here.
That tweet you're actually talking about, he didn't say what champion. He said, what should I play today? My favorite response was League of Legends.
Oh, pedantic. So pedantic. But technically correct is the best kind of correct after all. DoubleLift going to be clearing out these waves. And as you mentioned, NA on a strong lead, had pretty good vision yesterday. It's just a matter of picking a target and going for it.
NA is playing the macro game better though. This continues pushing on the side lanes, really uncontested. IWC is only challenging once in their jungle, but that puts you so far behind in map control and tempo. They have the one saving grace, which is the Scuttle Crab. See with talent, there's no Baron. Easily take that in vision.
Who's going to pick this up? Cannon Barrage again being thrown down, and well, CIS team is nearby, so that should, at the very least, mean it's not going to be secured until the Herald swaps out for Baron.
Yeah. But Dyrus back to the bottom lane, no teleport, no global ultimate, so he's going to put some pressure, and then we can see again how NA is going to use that pressure on other sides of the map. Right now you'll see very passive posturing, top left or in the mid lane right here. Trying to get some vision in, it can get punished because it is 5v4 on the map on that side, so Meteos has to chill a little bit.
A lot of damage when Smurf is able to connect with those barrels. Comes up with BF sword and those two long swords, so continuing to stack up. I think if given enough time, CIS may be able to thwart the wave pressure, but the problem is, again, teleport advantage for Dyrus. He's just going to keep split pushing.
Yeah.
Bjergsen's coming to help. I think this tower may even fall in this next wave. Let's see if they decide to commit for it.
Now it's just counting dots.
Okay, this one gives them an engaged top, though.
DoubleLift is caught. Dimonko pulls him back. Lands respite. Will keep DoubleLift alive. Even going to be enough time for him to heal. Kira's down in the bottom lane, and Smurf is finally moving top, but it's just smoke and mirrors.
Back and forth, back and forth. The difference here is that NA is playing proactive and IWC is playing reactive. The second NA team realizes that there's more people that they can deal with in the bottom lane, they go back off, they play passive, and they go aggressive on the other side of the map right here. That's the complete opposite from IWC. They see players, they're like, oh, let's fight him, and they end up in numbers disadvantage continuously.
And they need to do this, though, because when you're up against an Anivia, she's just going to wave clear instantaneously, and the lack of wave clear on this NA squad means you have to make plays just like this. They see them, though.
Tiny bit. Cannon Barrage will only be up in a few seconds here. Baron is taking a very, very long time. 4,500 hit points. North America have once again been thwarted from the giant purple beast. This time around, it's Baron that's interrupted, not Herald.
Yeah, this leaves a big window here because IWC is grouped where their strength is strong. Remember, in Champs League, we were talking about how good they were at sieging right now. Baron isn't taken. That's the opportunity cost of a failed Baron attempt. Mid lane is open. There's no side lane pressure anymore. Everybody has to base router, and suddenly all the map pressure that NA was building up suddenly is lost.
IWC going to need a few more of those mistakes from NA if they want to claw back this deficit they find themselves in. Still 4,000 gold. But they're growing in power. That rod is almost fully stacked for Kira. BF sword and recurve bow for Lex. He's getting closer towards what I assume is going to be that Hurricane next.
I am not a big fan of what Bjergsen's been doing with his trinket. It's not a red trinket yet, and he keeps sitting in these brushes trying to get picks on people, and he has no way to sweep it. So this just keeps stunting him from actually picking people off. And he's trying to flank them and do these things. You need to get that trinket. You need to swap that out.
Yeah, or just get more pink wards. Pink wards so valuable in this match. 75 gold for a ward that probably nobody will find anyways because they're too lazy to look in the brush where they're walking through. And it removes vision. It's cheap. Everybody buy a pink ward, maybe two. You'll win games.
Trust the support to deliver that message. Brought to you by Allstar.
Brought to you by Supports Incorporated. We value your vision.
I do want to talk a little bit about jungling here, because Meteos has had actually a really good tournament so far. In the previous game, his Zac was really, really good.
Yep.
And in this game, his
How
Kindred...
did that end up for you?
We don't talk about
Yeah.
it. It's too soon. Too soon. Give us...
It was all fine until the accident happened.
Yep. Which we can blame on DoubleLift, right? It's not
Yes.
Zac's fault, so.
Well, they didn't have a leader. They have no coach. Dash
Exactly.
is slacking. But Meteos, his stacks, he's only got 3 right now. He hasn't been able to actually go into these jungle camps and actually pick them up and get all of these stacks. So Meteos has been trying to kill people and get pressure, but that's started to slow down. But once you get to this point as Kindred, where you've pushed in those outer turrets, you should be getting these stacks so that you can do a quick Baron. And he only has 3 still.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a few more. Because CIS are starting to group up. Everybody has every spell available, with the exception of one summoner on the side of NA. But look at the grouping. Dyrus up top with teleport. The rest of NA immediately see an opportunity. Peel for the middle lane. Unstoppable force onto LeX. Chum the Waters finds him as well. And that bunny rabbit is happy. Double bubble will lock up Dimajke and Dimonko. And Meteos will throw some autos onto that inner turret. Bjergsen goes golden after dashing through a minion. He's going to flash as well. Better safe than sorry. No unstoppable force available, but there is a tidal wave, a double barrel chain. Dimonko's going in, but there's no support. The tower falls as Lamb's Respite keeps everybody alive. Dimonko flashes out. I don't think the poison will kill him, but North America have got themselves some kills, have got themselves a tower, and will peel away safely.
Meteos wants that stack. There he goes. 4 stacks for Meteos.
Only they brought a pink ward, man. We killed DoubleLift. Just saying. And that was actually really good engage from Dyrus, because generally Dyrus Malphite ultis are really easily flashed, especially on 8 ping. But if you don't expect that he's actually going to go for the play, it really didn't look like there was any opportunity to actually get that into a kill. But good synergy there from Dyrus and Bjergsen, just saying go, immediately evaporating opposition there.
DoubleLift using the stealth to his advantage, playing a living ward and decides against it. So Dragon number 1, or at least be a small solace. And for IWCA, they've got themselves an Essence Reaver on Smurf. I actually talked about this yesterday, how in Melbourne, the teams went for 5 of those blue trinkets. They've done it again, Zirene.
This vision is actually quite strange because it's permanent. You could put as many of them out as possible. They just stay forever. The only problem is your only wards are your Sight Stone, and then you have the warding smite, but you have no way to remove the enemy wards from their Sight Stone.
It's a good approach if you're behind. Hang on.
Oh, Smurf is going to get knocked up. Bjergsen, wow, that's just so much damage. And Smurf maybe way in enemy territory.
I mean,
you got no vision.
Doesn't matter if like you have the wards, you still gotta watch your minimap.
Yeah.
He saw them coming. But yeah, overall, those 5 blue trinkets, it works if you're playing against a very heavy pick composition that tries to wait in bushes. You just have the safety check. You don't really want to get close enough to ward that, because generally right now, warding range gets you killed. And if all you want to do is deny Baron baits, it's impossible to bait Baron against this. You can rush it, but you can't simply just bait it, because all the phase checks will get denied. So in that sense, it does make sense, but I would like to see an improved or upgraded Sight Stone at least.
Oh, DoubleLift
has found DoubleLift, but it will not be able to kill him. The heal of the QSS came out. Kira's been egged. He will get dropped shortly. Dimonko uses the Fate's Call, knocks up a few members of North America, but for little effect.
Bjergsen.
The auto attacks come down, and DoubleLift finds one more. Bjergsen, playful tricksters out, and Smurf not even able to pick that one up. North America have got 4. Chains the barrels together for Smurf. It will slow down the push, but little less than that. Tower down, inhibitor next to North America. They have a numbers advantage. There is another line of minions, safeties to back away, bravados to go for the Nexus.
And more importantly, Korea only managed to get killed by IWC 4 times, NA only 3 times so far. So simple math dictates NA greater than KR.
I'll trust your professional opinion on that one, but here's the team fight.
See, big ward. Look at the beauty that brings to you. But then 4v5, they had the right concept, just need to nail the execution. That was a beautiful pink ward, beautiful engage. Do it with 5 people, and I'm a fan. Overall, instant reaction from Team Fire. They knew they could win the fight, so they just plowed on through. And then Bjergsen, whoop.
Yeah, you're lacking Smurf at that point, but speaking of lacking somebody.
LeX, whoop.
Gets popped.
Yep.
Still 3 times. That's the one thing to lose.
Still 3 times, okay. That's what we're playing for.
Oh, looking.
The chilly, spooky ghost, they're going to slow Dimajke. DoubleLift sidesteps the cocoon. He's going to get all those autos down. The barrels choke him with 400. Kindred, he gets the heal from Aphromoo, and he's dunked by Smurf. Red buff ticking away. Smurf is looking for a serving of sushi. There is no flash available, but the red buff is slowing Aphro. Barrel comes up, it's sidestep. Smurf is looking for more.
Looking another!
5 deaths.
And the order is restored.
Right, teleport can't. Oh! Hashtag Allstar big plays.
Fire Dyrus.
What I love about that is seeing everybody laughing, including the North American players. DoubleLift and Aphromoo.
Bjergsen has like the biggest win in space right now.
And I can see the other regional casters as well going, oh, Dyrus. So,
Well, both of them went for it. Bjergsen launched in too. It's not only Dyrus. That was really good timing, but teleport got cancelled.
It's that trust fall. You're going for it. Oh, I'm committing.
I mean, we're a team.
so North America just have to close this one out. They do have themselves an inhibitor down in the bottom lane. A monumental lead. And it's just a matter of sieging up. To be fair, they do need to deal with the Anivia wave clear. And the Gangplank wave clear. But they've got tools to do so.
You have to be a little careful, though, because these 4 members that are on the top side of the map away from Bjergsen can do this Baron really quickly. Meteos now has 7 stacks of his passive. That's 8.75% of current health. It is capped against monsters in some way, shape, or form, but it's so fast.
TLDR, it hurts.
Yes.
Let's see, Dimajke now in a little bit of trouble. We'll have the support of Dimonko and the Lantern. And Bjergsen's making his way up. Fate's Call has been primed. Kira, he's left on the wrong side of the river. Meteos is in trouble. Lamb's Respite will delay the proceedings and nobody can go down. LeX gets out of the Lamb's Respite and gets dropped. Meteos follows shortly thereafter, and they are just trading. This will be cleaning house for North America. Smurf, the last man remaining. He's going to at least pop a barrel onto Bjergsen. Prep another one, and there's
He might be able to
no
get both of them
follow.
if he plays this perfectly.
Oh, I doubt that. Let's see what Smurf can do. Continuing to run. Bjergsen.
Turn up.
Dun -dum. Dun -dum.
They're just playing with them. You're not supposed to.
Oh, no!
Oh, Dyrus is dead again.
Well done, Smurf.
Oh, they want more.
Them barrel mechanics. North America peeling their way to the middle lane. Gonna try and knock down another tower. And the spooky Aphromoo ghosts will at least interrupt and disrupt Dimajke and Dimonko. But again, NA, they're not backing away. Chum the Waters is up for Bjergsen.
Yeah, but that fight though, that was really nice. There were a couple nice outplays there. Really good spacing as we wait for the pick. Hopefully nobody faced Sex so we can finish the story. Like Kira had a really good wall there, keeping the enemies at bay there, but Bjergsen played that beautifully. Waited for the E from Kira to start traveling before he zoned Yas, so they wasted a lot of cooldowns. Overall, NA won that fight, I believe, like 3 against 5, so solid play there. I think they know. Shh.
They were waiting for
If you wait long enough, people generally tend to, like League players, suffer from some amnesia. Even though they saw you enter the brush, they never saw you leave. They'll still face check you eventually.
Let's see.
They're not a Baron. They're not a Dragon.
Where can they be?
Ah, the minigame's over now. Bottom inhibitor's going to respawn shortly. The rest of IWC on the middle lane, and DoubleLift is making his way down. So, I mean, Aphro's still chilling in that bush with Dyrus. Get some s'mores, guys. Build a tent. Chill out. Well, I think when the minions hit the tower, Meteos is in trouble. Lamb's Spy will buy some time. Tidal Wave comes in as well. Bjergsen's looking for one. So, to kill advantage to IWC. Bjergsen got stunned, got cocooned, but there's nothing more to follow. 3-man unstoppable force with DoubleLift down. This could be trouble. They've killed Dimonko, North America. Bjergsen is going to hop away and kill the ward. Overall, IWC win the fight, 1 for 2.
Yeah, IWC, they had vision on Baron. They knew that the only pick could be made in the bottom right of their screen, so they just engaged somewhere in the middle where they have safety in numbers. Probably open, we didn't see it, but Lex's Fate's Call is on cooldown, so it's probably what they used.
So I'm starting to see some clear weaknesses in this North American All-Star squad. Mid to late game, no clear shot caller.
It's so strange, too, because the bot lane has just this open inhibitor now. It was respawning during this time, and they weren't even pushing the opposite side. Meteos gets walled in. He also gets pulled out of his Ram's fight here and gets killed before it's even over. Really well played there. But then, as soon as Dyrus goes in, DoubleLift is already off of the map. Boom.
Wow, that's so much damage from
And
Smurf.
now they don't have damage here.
Yeah, really good battle control there from Smurf, and the face call used to finish off DoubleLift overall, so he just got insta-gip. Gotta watch that range, especially when you're playing Twitch. Gotta make use of that ultimate.
We're starting to see some, again, the IWC players, individually and mechanically, they're making some great plays. We're late enough in the game that now Smurf has got an Infinity Edge completed. Archangel's completed for Kira. He's got a needlessly large rod, but probably working towards, let's get touching that in a second.
Oh, two-man.
Dyrus has found his target. Dimonko's going to get pulled back by the Fate's Call, and the Bunny Rabbit is repelled. Dyrus gets caught by the Flay, but Dimonko doesn't block that. Shut down from LeX onto Bjergsen. That's a gigantic bounty spread across the CIS region. But the barrels and the damage from the poison means DoubleLift has killed LeX. Kira gets egged and comes back to life. It's a 1-for-1, but it's not over yet. Barrels onto Aphromoo! Short! Aphro was able to flash away. North America, though, they may have got some time. They've got a gigantic banner of command minion onto the turret, and now Kira, he's in trouble. He's got the auto attacks. DoubleLift sidesteps the stun and buys himself a pigeon for dinner.
You're seeing the compositional weaknesses here from North America's side show, but they're going to keep going right now. Not sure if they're going to get too much.
Dimonko maybe anticipating the QSS. He's now in trouble. Meteos is going to get the kill credit. Inhibitor will drop. It's 35 seconds before Kira is up, and DoubleLift will get himself a kill onto Dimajke. No, I take it back. Flash forward from Meteos, he gets himself another. Now LeX is in trouble. Lamb's Respite will keep Meteos alive. The Nexus will be dropping in North America. They toyed with our hearts, but they will be closing this game out. The Banner of Command Empowered Minion will help them. An ace against the CIS. And North America get 100 points for Team Fire.
And now only 50 points between Team Fire and Team Ice right now. It's getting closer. That's one fun game mode away. If they can take the AD carry mode, they'll even up the score of this entire tournament.